Good way to end the season, Pep?
Sorry?
Good way to end the season?
Yeah, definitely.
What were you particularly pleased with today? What pleased you the most about this performance?
But from the beginning, see that we want to win. So it was in our hands, not depend Anfield happened or Emirates happened. So, and from the beginning we saw want to win the game. Of course, Watford, there are a lot of troubles in defense, with a lot of injuries. But always the last game of the season, when you play for something, it's always complicated. Always, there are a lot of pressure. There are no second chance. But we show many good things. We are so happy. So, in terms of how many times we were. That fantastic club Manchester City is in Europe, so we cannot compare against Liverpool, United, against even Arsenal or Chelsea. We cannot forget that season Chelsea and Liverpool were at home during the week, and that is the 6th or 7th time in a row that we are in Europe, and that club achieved that situation. So, because every year qualify for the Champions League will be tougher and tougher and tougher, and we are there. And now the gap, especially in the Premier League, is so big against Chelsea and Tottenham. We are going to try not work. We're going to try to play better. The only way to improve is playing better. Not tackles, not run, is play better. And we are going to do next season to the gap against Chelsea and Tottenham, reduce it. And in Europe, we are so happy to be there, not in the private Champions League, direct. In the draw, and enjoying our people, our fans in Manchester and all around the world playing their team in the Champions League. So we are so happy for that, for the work with that guys that never, even in the difficult moments, never give up.
Does that make your summer a little easier now that everything's third place, definitely in the Champions League? Does that give you more comfort as you prepare for next season, starting from?
Listen, we are satisfied because we are in Europe. We are in the Champions League. So, but from tomorrow, we're going to think about what we have to do for the next season. But and the pressure will be the same like this year, to try to win. And if not possible, try to improve or try to know the reason why. And if it's not possible, make a changes.
When you look back on your first season in the Premier League, how do you summarise it? Do you think it's been more difficult than you thought, or as you thought it would be?
No. It was what I expect, a big teams. The people was confused before I arrived in the 10 games in a row. Winning, it would be easy, but I knew that. So against one team like Chelsea, play one game a week, how strong they are, how good manager they have. Even Tottenham, with the last season, the previous season was second, fighting until the end against Leicester. That season was the same. It's one of the best teams in the world playing football, Tottenham. The way they play, like for example Napoli as well, they didn't win, won Juventus at Turin, but few teams play better than Napoli in Italy. So the gap is like this, so it's not enough, we were not good enough, but we are going to try to play better next season to reduce that gap and fight until the end for the lad. But for the club it's so important, for the players, because they deserve it, my humble opinion, they deserve it in the club too, to be in the Champions League next season. And you know how beautiful it is to be in the draw, to be there and face big Tuesday and Wednesday night in Emirates, in Etihad Stadium, with the best clubs in Europe.
Now the season is over, when will you talk to the players who are out of contract, who are maybe given new contracts? Will that be tomorrow? Will it be this week? I know you said... Before I arrived here, the people told me you are an amazing journalist. You will know it, but not today and not from me. But is it the next few days? And you must have some plan. What's your plan over the next week?
We will see.
That was a long conversation you had with Yaya Toure when you came off. He's one of the players that Charlie's talking about.
I said thank you for what he has done in that season.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, it was an outstanding performance all the season.
Have you already identified the players that you'd like to bring in?
Sorry?
Have you already identified the players that you'd like to bring into the team?
No.
When will you start that process?
Tomorrow. But it's not simple. Real Madrid bought one player that's 16 years old for 46 million euros. So you can imagine how is the market. So will be tough. Maybe we'll stay with a lot of players here. Maybe not. We will see in the next days.
So what was that you said then about 46 million?
Yeah, one Brazilian guy is going to play in Real Madrid for 46 million euros, 60 years old. So that is the market today. Yeah, well, yeah. Well.
One thing you said this week about lack of goals. Sergio has scored his record goals for City, I think, this season, 33. So is he seems part of the solution, and yet, but you still say there is a lack of goals.
We finished 15 points behind Chelsea. So we have to play better. And Sergio helped us a lot. But we have to provide him better solution to score more goals, not only depending from Sergio. Sergio, he did his job really well.
Was he surprised to be taken off? He looked surprised when... All the players
are upset and sad when substituted. Normally the players all around the world thinking themselves. It's always like this. We have to survive like a managers in that situations always.
Are you seeing things from Aguero and company now that you weren't at the start of the season?
How many times I answered that question about the future of the Sergio Aguero and company, guys? How many times I answer in Manchester? Maybe 10, 15. I said many times, so I'm not repeat. So there are players from Manchester City, and they will be in Manchester City next season.
But they've improved over the season.
Yeah, a lot. With Vincent, we're so happy with Vincent too. We played, I think, 8 or 9 games in a row, playing 90 minutes, and we saw something special with him. So I could imagine when the Manchester City won the Premier League, one of the reasons why was Vincent company. And the last 2 seasons with Manuel, when Vincent was not there, Peter was injured all the time. I think Manuel missed him a lot, and of course, he's a guy who, like a central defender, is an exceptional player.
Do you think you've improved as a coach for your experiences?
Yeah, every season improve. Even when we win the triple and we win the 6 titles in a row, win the leagues, always improve. This year too. Next season will be better, because now I am better than the year before. And next season, in 2 seasons, will be worse than next season, definitely.
The 16-year-old you mentioned from Flamengo that's going to go to Real Madrid, was he a player you'd looked at or had been interested in?
No. When Real Madrid and Barcelona want one player, they take that player. The other teams cannot compete with them.
But was it someone you looked at?
No. We are not target, no.
Do you really think that, Pep, that Manchester City can't compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona? You want to...
Time. What do he need? Manchester City.
But you can't compete for players with Real Madrid and Barcelona?
No way.
Why not? You've got lots of money.
Yeah, but Real Madrid and Barcelona, and not money is enough in football, my friend. It's not enough.
And can you change that over time?
Time. To compete against them, we need time. These clubs, we need time. Decades to be there. So that club was 30 years not playing in Europe. It's the first time in history, 67 times in a row playing in Europe. And teams like Liverpool and Chelsea again last season, not years ago, last season, were at home all the season. That's why that is the terms we have to do. But the gap, it looks like, no, before we were never there, now you are there 7. But to achieve the next step, the gap is shorter, but it's more difficult to compete hand-to-hand against the big clubs in Europe. The big clubs is Madrid, Barcelona, Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Atletico Madrid right now. So Atletico Madrid make that step, but even in that step, they could not win the Champions League, deserving to win the Champions League. So, and for that you need time. In the world, the time don't exist. It's not allowed.
Do you expect Manchester United to be more serious?
Hopefully.
In the title next year?
Manchester
United, do you expect
but it's not,
to be more serious contenders?
It's not question for me. It's for the manager from Manchester United.
You said about Company and Aguero before they'll be here next season. I just wanted to check that. They will be here next season, Company and Aguero.
Were you in my press conference in Manchester?
Yeah,
no, listen. Were you in Manchester? Yeah, every press conference. How many times I did it?
You never said that Aguero.
How many times? Okay, guys. We'll be next season.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Good. Perfect.
At the end of the game, you had quite a long chat with Stefano Akaka.
Sorry?
At the end of the game, you had quite a long chat with Stefano Akaka.
Yeah.
At Watford. Just wondering what you were saying.
But how he controls that balls in coming in the air, how strong he is. Okay, thank you guys.